The next tool I want to discuss is called the Touch Type tool. The Touch Type tool gives you a lot of versatility in order to edit text, where you don't have that versatility as smoothly if you don't use this tool. Traditionally, when we are thinking about editing text, and we want to change the individual letters inside of one word or phrase or sentence or whatever it is you're doing, typically you have to expand or do outlines, which is an ability to take your font and change it to an object. And normally you would do this under the type menu and you would say create outlines, which is right here, which is also Command or Control Shift O. One of the things that's great about the Touch Type tool is you can take this tool, which is Shift T on your keyboard, and rather than have to change it to an object, you can leave it as font, and then you can manipulate where it goes, and you can change individual letters. You can also widen those individual letters, you can shrink them, you can do all types of things to that one particular letter. Now, the only, I would say, downfall of this is that when you are using this tool, it will affect the other types, the letters in that particular text box. As you can see, I'm moving these around and I'm kind of playing with them, and it's changing the other objects or the other letters in that particular phrase. But what is neat is you can manipulate individual letters. So I can actually change the size of the letters while it's in one font. I can change the font itself. I can change the font color. You have a lot of abilities to manipulate without having to convert it to outlines or expand it into an object. So for this activity, for number 10, what I would like for you to do is change one phrase, word you see. I've just got Touch Type right now, and just show me that you can manipulate the individual pieces. The other thing that I like about Touch Type is you can also use it interchangeably with other type options. So with the area type and the vertical type, and the one I want to demonstrate is area type on a path. So I'm going to draw a path. I just like circle paths. That's kind of my go-to. And I'm going to type on a path. The thing about the Touch Type tool is you do have to have your font created before you edit. So that's something to be aware of. You do have to have it before you can edit. So you want to make sure that when you are using this particular tool, you already have what you want to manipulate. And I'm going to zoom in so I can flip this. You want to have it already so that it can be manipulated before you use that Touch Type tool. Okay. I'm going to just scale this down so you guys can see a little bit better. And rotate. Okay. Just want to be able to see what I'm reading here. Remember, when that thing kind of pops up, you just have to go back to your selection tool. There it is. When that thing pops up, you just have to hit V on your keyboard again to get back to your selection tool if you're editing a type on a path. So now that I've got my type on a path, I'm going to go back to my Touch Type tool and I'm going to click, and now I can manipulate individual letters. And I'm just going to grab and move some of my letters around. This gives you some really nice abilities to do all sorts of things depending on what it is you're looking for. The other thing is, if like maybe you want to space it out a little bit more and you want to individually personalize that spacing, depending on what it is you're looking to do, you have that ability. One of the things that I always find that I use this for is when I make logos, for example, and there's maybe a particular font I'm using. Like I like the font Pacifico. It's kind of one of my go-to fonts. And let me not have it in all caps. One of the things that I find is, depending on the spacing that I'm wanting to do, if you look, all of these are really lovely and connected. However, the C and the A of my name are not connected. And maybe I want to manipulate that. So what I can do is I can take this and pull these a little bit closer to each other, because here's the issue, and I want to show you why I like to talk about this tool, is I have the ability to adjust the character spacing of this, right? It's one of the options that we have in our character panel, is this where you can change the spacing between it. But what I want you to notice is when I reduce one, it's going to reduce all of them. So I just want to increase the space next to the C and the A, right? But if you're watching where I've got it kind of hidden, unfortunately, if you're watching, as I change this, it changes all of them. And now the ALS, all that is not readable. It's not visible, which is why the touch tool is really convenient, because I can just pull those two in a little closer. And then maybe I want to pull the L and the A apart just a smidge to give myself some space. I can really personalize the way this looks for myself and get it to look exactly the way that I envision it in my mind. So that's a beautiful tool to know how to use and to have in your arsenal. All right. Hopefully, you've gotten a really good glimpse of the types of font choices that you have and how to manipulate font and how to manipulate text. And this will come in handy as we continue to progress into Adobe Illustrator. Thanks so much.